everybody, you know who this is. Just gonna make another video here. I haven't done so in a couple of days, so I figured it's about time. This was actually going to be a GeneralMLD in the latest video of his that I saw. Granted, I know I probably won't get too many views on this because it seems like whenever I do a video that doesn't have El Presidor in the title, I don't get as many hits. But you know what? I'm not really in this for the hits, so I really don't give a fuck. GeneralMLD, just want to say first of all, I do notice that you're one of my subscribers, so cool to that. And like I said, I don't hate you, but some of the stuff, kind of iffy. So, as far as on your last video, just addressing a couple of points. I'm making a couple of good points, but there's a couple of points that are kind of shaky. Not that just you make, but other people. When it comes to being a multi-console owner, one of the things you say is you don't have enough time to actually own more than one console. Now, I always found that to be a little odd. I can see if you say you don't have the money for it because, you know, gaming is still a pretty expensive hobby, even if you are a grown man like you're saying, even if you're making $50,000 a year, especially if you have a family, you have a house, you know, you have kids and so on. My only problem with that statement saying you don't have enough time, that's kind of just an excuse, really. And hopefully I'll make sense of what I'm about to say here. If I don't, I apologize. It's, you know, what, almost 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I had a 12-hour day at work today, so I'm a little tired. But, because really, time shouldn't really have anything to do with it. Because if you're going to sit down to play a game on your 360, instead of playing it that day, you could also play a game on your PS3. So, say like you're looking for a first-person shooter, and you're like, okay, you know, I'm going to spend an hour to play Modern Warfare 2. You could also easily just say, you know what, I'll switch it up a little bit and do Killzone 2 this time. But of course, if there's nothing on one system that you like, then hey, so be it. You know, you can say if you don't, you know, like Killzone 2, or if you don't like some of the other offerings. Like personally, I never really liked Infamous. I only gameflied it. Yeah, that's one game that was hyped up a little bit that I never really liked, and to me it was just kind of a boring game, but that's besides the point. Excuse, because you don't have to, you know, start playing on 360 and be like, oh crap, I haven't had a chance to play, say, Uncharted 2, so I better jump over that. You don't have to, you know, just set aside some time for game playing. You know, if you do an hour or 2 hours a day or whatever per week, and all you have to do is say, okay, this week I'm going to play this game, next week I'm going to play this game. Simple as that. You said the 360 is the best console you've ever played, ever. Granted, hopefully I'm not dating myself here. I'm probably just a little bit older than you. But to me, I don't know, I would have to say a tie would have to be between two systems I'm going to mention, and there's some up in 3DO. I bought one of those things in, was it 95, 96? Cost me $650. You know, that thing, it had, it was the only game at the time was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, so that was cool. Plus it had Samurai Showdown, it had a 3D scaling fix, and it had a couple of cool games on there, but it wasn't supported for shit. The controller was shit. In order to play a two-player game, you had to plug one controller into the top of the other one, and it just fucking sucked. But why I spent over $650 on it at the time, considering the fact, God, I had to sell my off some other older game systems that I had to buy. I don't know. Plus, too, I also had one Naughty Dog's first game. You know, the guys who did Retro Uncharted 2? Yeah, look up Way of the Warrior for the 3DO. The only cool thing about that was the White Zombie soundtrack. Other than that, it was shit. Anyway, to me, I would say the two best consoles I ever played in my life were the PlayStation 1. Never owned a PS2. Sorry, last generation of gaming. I was in college. I didn't really have a lot of time, so I was trying to start a career at the time, too. So it's PS1, and then before that, I would have to say the Super Nintendo. I remember the year the Super Nintendo came out. A few months later, it was Christmas. What I find Christmas morning, ripped open, Super Nintendo, one of the last generation of games that also came with 2 controllers and a game, and also 3 other games as well. So I started out the system with 4 games. Now, I did own a Genesis too, but you know, I still did the Super Nintendo more. So honestly, I think best system I ever played personally, Super Nintendo. That's just me. PlayStation 1 is pretty close there as well. It's just there's so many classic games, and yeah, I know it's sprite-based, and the graphics are nowhere what they are now. There's really not a lot of 3D-based games. The only 3D-based games really were like Star Fox, and that was just like only about 5 polygons on screen, but for the time it was pretty kick-ass. That's all I gotta say. Let's see. Another one of your points I'll say I agree with you with is the part about buying things and kind of the hypocrisy about you always hear PS3 fanboys saying how, oh my god, you must be poor if you can't afford now, you know, $300 for a PS3, and yet they bitch about paying $50 a year, which is only a few dollars a month for Live. I've had Live ever since 2002 with the original Xbox, so that was what, November 2002, so over 7 years now. And, you know, it doesn't really do anything to me because it would cost the price of one game. Big fucking deal. And I know you say the principal, and you're right, they do pull out that principal card, but yet last gen, these PS3 fanboys that were also probably PS2 fanboys had no problem paying for a multi-tap if they wanted to have more than 2 people playing. They had no problem paying for a network adapter if they wanted to play what little games were available online. And if they bought a game that had a network adapter with it, they had to pay more for it. They also didn't mind paying extra for a hard drive, which I believe came with Final Fantasy 11, if I'm not mistaken, which jacked the price of the game up. And I believe you could buy it separately too. I'm a little sketchy, but still you had to pay extra. And then also too, in order to save games, the PlayStation 2 did not come with memory cards, and you had to shell out for memory cards. Now, I know there were third-party memory cards, but they were crap. Okay, let's just admit it. The 8 meg card, not gig, 8 meg card was by Sony was really good. And if you remember too, there was a shortage of those damn things when the PS2 first released. I mean, you couldn't find a memory card anywhere for the first couple of months. And if you did, they were charging, you know, a shitload of money for it. So yeah, it seems like Sony and Microsoft flipped this generation as far as accessories. But the things that Microsoft didn't charge for last, they are now. Of course, they didn't have wireless. They always had the built-in Ethernet card, which both systems have. Both of them did have come with a hard drive. I know the 360 is optional. You don't have to buy it. You can get arcade without it, but you can still buy one with it. So to me, that still comes with it. Let's see. You also can do 4-player out of the box on both of them. And that's about it there. But yeah, it is amazing how you have the Sony fanboys complaining and saying about the principle of paying Live the $50. Yet you know, last gen, which you know they were PS2 fanboys, they had no problem paying extra for more of the things than what Microsoft is doing this gen. She had a hard drive, memory card, multi-tap, plus an online adapter. And now with Microsoft, really, if you definitely get the system and you don't get the arcade, all you got to pay for is, let's see, you don't have to pay for the hard drive, you don't have to pay for internet, yeah, no wireless, but you can still do it out of the box, so I don't count that. And it has 4-player out of the box, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just rambling on here, I don't know. Let's see, I know I'm limited to 10 minutes here, so hopefully I haven't gone over. If I have, fuck it, I'll cut it, split this up into 2 parts, whatever. So, that's about it. Not really any hating or any pointing out of calling GeneralMLD 360 fanboys. I will say though, bro, congrats on not blowing your top like Truth. That motherfucker is still blowing his top about some of the shit he's been putting on his video. Oh my god.